Welcome back to Food for Thought, where we report on new approaches to farming that can boost yields without overtaxing the environment. From Benin, we travel to southern India. A sweet sorghum variety is providing both food and fuel for low-income farmers. Emmanuel's family is harvesting sweet sorghum. The seeds from sorghum are used to make flour. But Emmanuel's sorghum is doubly valuable. It can also be used as biofuel. Brazil has been producing biofuel in the form of ethanol from sugarcane for 30 years, over 24 billion litres in 2008. But biofuels came to worldwide attention during the oil price rises of 2007, when a barrel of oil jumped from $40 to over $130. As a result, the USA, the world's biggest maize producer, switched some of the harvest into ethanol.
In 2005, they were using 10% of maize to produce bioethanol. In 2008, it would have even reached 30%. That is, a third of the grain that US produces goes for bioethanol.
The food shortages of 2008 gave biofuel crops a bad name. They were no longer seen as a non-polluting, sustainable alternative to oil, but instead were blamed for removing too much grain from the world food supply. A sweet sorghum variety is being developed that aims to change all that.
Sweet sorghum can be used for different purposes, like feeding the animals with leaves. The stalks can be crushed to produce juice, and in turn the juice can be fermented to produce ethanol. The ethanol can be blended with gasoline to an extent of 25 to 30% without changing the existing engines. And the grains can be used as a staple food in many nations.
Seeing the potential value of the technology, Rusni Distillery has set up an ethanol plant producing 40 kilolitres per day. And India's biggest company, Tata, is now taking part in the research. The total cost of production for a litre of ethanol is a third of that of sugarcane, according to the Indian National Research Centre for Sorghum. But the real value of sweet sorghum as a biofuel, say the scientists, is that it's a dry land crop. Sweet sorghum uses a quarter of the water requirement of sugarcane and grows well in the poorer regions of India, Africa and China. Emmanuel's family agree. They get on average an extra $80 per hectare over planting traditional sorghum varieties.
We have multiple benefits. We are selling the stocks for the industry, and at the same time we are using the sweet sorghum seed for making rotis.
We want to connect the small farmers to private sector distillery owners so that they have the best of economic returns, so that in the end, the smallholders benefit also from this revolution of biofuels.
The question of biofuels is a critical one. We should push aggressively on second and third technology for biofuels, where you can use the whole plant. If we put the money into the research, it can be something that can go to scale, done well. It can replace fossil fuel production and use in some parts of the world, and it could have social benefits.
From India to Sao Tome and Principe, an island group 230 kilometres off the coast of West Africa, cocoa farmers have found it's reaching the right markets that are key to ensuring long-term livelihoods. Manuel Guerracol farms cocoa on Sao Tome. Despite the location, he's connected to a new global economy, fueled by consumer concerns about food and how it's being grown. At 850 square kilometres, the island is tiny, but has been a major global supplier of cocoa. In 1998, global cocoa prices crashed and many farmers abandoned their plots altogether. They couldn't compete with their counterparts on mainland Africa. In the midst of the crisis, the UN's agency, working with the poorest farmers, proposed an idea that offered hope to hundreds of cocoa growers.
When we started spreading the message of organic cocoa and its benefits, the mood changed.
The UN invited Cauca, a French company specialising in organic chocolate, to Sao Tome to assess the cocoa sector. Today, 1,400 farmers produce about 300 tonnes of organic cocoa a year, all of which is purchased by Cauca, who guarantees a premium above the market price and a minimum price should the cocoa economy collapse again.
In the past, I was able to sell my cocoa at 2,000 STD. Now I sell my organic production at 5,000 STD.
With a secure income and a high-value commodity, farmers like Manuel have returned to their villages.
I would like to build a better home where my children can grow and be happy.
Manuel may get his wish. Cauca wants to buy 75% more organic cocoa.
There's no way that we're going to solve the nexus of poverty and hunger if we keep always pushing food prices down. We need to add value to these crops in the rural areas.
Nepalese farmers have difficulty finding any market at all. One answer is building a network of roads and bridges, but there's an unexpected role for women. Kadka Malla is a farmer in the district of Sintupalchok in rural Nepal. He has 1/10 of a hectare of land, on which he grows cabbage, cauliflower, tomatoes and some bananas. Before the road came, it was a difficult journey to market, and in the rainy season, a potentially dangerous one too.
This road has changed our lives. Before the road was built, we had to carry the vegetables and other things on our back and had to walk more than an hour. Now it's very easy. Vehicles pass by and carry our vegetables, so it's much easier to go to the market now.
Outside the capital city of Kathmandu, many Nepalese communities in this Himalayan mountain country live isolated lives, and there is considerable undernourishment. One of the main reasons is the difficulty people have in trading their produce. Nepal has a road network density 20 times lower than a mountainous country such as Switzerland. A project supported by the Swiss Development Agency has enabled farmers to improve their lives by helping with the construction of roads and bridges.
I have to do this work because I don't know how to read or write. Of course it's hard, but easy work doesn't help me eat.
Heavy rains and landslides mean roads are in constant need of repair, but still work can be hard to find. As in many other parts of the developing world, poverty forces men to migrate in search of work. In Nepal, women account for 70% of the labour force, mostly in farming. But this is not reflected in their rights to own land. Only 8% have legal tenure. However, the roads are bringing in more than trade.
There's been lots of change. The roads have brought other activities like a women's group, and we've also been able to save money too.
The roads and bridges brought change for Krishna too. She's a Dalit, traditionally an outcast in Nepalese society.
Because of the roads, new ideas have come and I have improved my position in society.
Women have no land rights, and yet they are the main producers. And I think that we need to recognize the fact that women need security of tenure to be able to continue to play the major role they play in our food security.
On our journey across 3 continents, Food for Thought has uncovered innovative solutions to the threat of increased hunger. Scientists, farmers and politicians have argued for new environmentally sustainable technologies, strengthened communities, improved women's rights, building markets and increasing trade. All part of a 21st century solution to guaranteeing both food security and livelihoods.
You know, one thing is very clear. The world is going to need a lot of farmers, and we're going to need a lot of agricultural production, and we're going to have to do it sustainably. And you're going to need strong government, strong communities, farmers with the skills, the knowledge, the tools, the finance. And if we can achieve all of those things, then I think we can continue to feed the world, but we need to get a move on.
The investment in agriculture provides 2 to 4 times more benefits than investment in any other sector. I think the arithmetic is very simple.